guys.
My name is Ariana.
And I'm Daniela. You sound so sad.
I do?
Yeah, you said my name is Ariana.
Well, not for nothing. I just woke up from a nap. But anyways, my name's Ariana.
And I'm Daniela.
And this is another episode of the Twinfluence. Yay. Ah. What was that? What episode was it?
Spirit Fingers.
Spirit Fingers. That was the cheerleading movie, the first one.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Fingers. Okay, so what are we talking about today, girl? Because I had an idea, then you came up with an idea, so... Oh my god. Oh!
Did I get it?
I don't know.
Here, I need it.
Yo.
That was a mosquito.
Oh, what? Okay.
Maybe I got it.
Well, a mosquito done...
Maybe not. I don't see no bug guts on my hands.
A mosquito done taught my forehead. You know,
It
so...
didn't sting you yet.
And I had a couple...
Imagine that.
Yo, I'm like, okay. That's crazy.
Sorry.
But before we were really interrupted, really interrupted. That's funny. What did you want to talk about today? What's one thing you want to talk about today?
This journey of not losing our minds.
Yeah. So
2024.
basically, how to tips and tricks or our advice.
Well, I don't know about tips and tricks because, but we could talk about it.
You're right. So how have we been keeping sane in our 20s? Basically,
I guess how we keep sane in this life.
Yeah.
Let's not lose our minds.
Yeah. Cause life's gonna do what it do.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta find ways to deal and to cope and press on. But it's hard sometimes.
It is hard.
It's very hard sometimes. But
focusing on your mental health is like a lifelong journey.
yes.
It's really hard and it can be really scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As someone who has experienced a dark cloud over their shoulders but persevered, period.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to me. Yeah, it's hard. It's not gonna get any easier. But at least in that cycle, I was given the tools that I needed to kind of get it together.
Yeah.
What are some tools as a licensed therapist?
Listen, my therapist hat is not on my head today.
Okay. It's Sunday.
I'm gonna just speak from my experience, but yeah, mental health care is like mental health is such a spectrum.
Yes.
And what I do for my mental health might be very different from your mental health. And your understanding of mental health might be very different of mine. And I think our perspective of mental health can be different than a lot of other people because of that cultural barrier and aspect.
Right.
Where Caribbean people, it's like mental health, who? Like you have
that?
a roof over your head, you got food on your table,
you got clothes on your
you
body.
got employed parents.
Well, what more could you possibly need? Yeah.
Right. So when I think about mental health, I think about like where I started. And when I first started to like feel like something in my brain just was like not right.
Mm-hmm. Something's not clicking.
Yeah, something's not clicking. Or I was just like, just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I just started to notice like a shift of something that just felt different.
Yeah.
And that was like really early on in childhood. Like,
yeah, I would say the same thing too. But I think for me, I kind of had to just like, I don't remember much of my childhood, to be honest. Yeah, we talk about this all the time. I don't remember much. But I knew like in middle school, I was like, I'm a little awfully sad. Like I'm engaging in things that's might be a little questionable. So I kind of just not kept doing the things that I was doing, but was like, this is a little off. It's a little strange. Like I'm not pretty sure what this is. Mm-hmm. But the tip of the iceberg for me was 2020. I was like, something's not right. And so life happened and I just experienced a lot of stuff and it made me feel things. Because I feel like, I think I mentioned this in one episode before or maybe on my channel, I feel like we weren't given the grace and space to really feel anything much. Yeah. Because we weren't allowed to speak up, basically. Mm-hmm. And if we were, there's always some sort of consequence. But I mean, it is what it is now, but I felt like I just had like a lot of pent up stuff, and then I kind of just bowled over and was depressed for like 2 years. Crazy, but yeah. So
when you don't pay attention to the stuff that's going on in here and here,
mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean it's going away. It
Right.
just means that it's there and it's storing and it's building
Right.
up.
And
so 2020 was like kind of when you that pressure cooker was just couldn't hold no steam.
And I knew something was kind of wrong too when in college. We went to different colleges, and I completely isolated myself because I was so used to like having people around. And I went to a state school, so school I went to was the popular one. Period. On my I'll say hoo hoo.
You.
Anyway,
por favor.
but anyway, especially like freshman and sophomore year, I really was by myself for real. Like I was just like, yo, this is crazy, and I just wasn't used to being by myself.
Yeah.
I had a hard time like socializing, making friends. Like people probably thought I was very, very weird. Like I'm not like, I don't see myself as like a really quiet person. I'm like social. But that was just a different environment for me. I was like, what is happening? I was like, I don't know what's going on. People already got their friends, they cliques. Like I'll never forget. I took a class. I don't remember. I think it was one of my first public health classes, and we had to turn around and find partners. I was the only one in this specific row, and there was a whole bunch of other people behind me.
I remember this story.
Yeah, I came to class late, and then I ended up coming to the class, and I turned around. They said to go, pick a partner. So I turned around. Two white girls. One white girl. She was really nice. I actually had class with her afterwards, and we like partnered up a few times. Cool. Other white girl, I don't remember what she looked like, but I remember she was another white girl too. She looked dead at me, made a stink face, and turned her to the other girl. And the other girl was just looking at me mad sad. I was like, you didn't have to do all that, sister. You did not have to do all that. Like, it was not that serious. I was like, you know what? You just sit here and do my work job because I don't have time. I don't have time for all that. And so, but I think that's when I personally really started to develop a lot of anxiety. Really, really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
And there was points in times where, I don't even know if I want to mention this, but I feel like someone probably could, benefit from it. I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't know what to do or I didn't know how to deal with my anxiety, so I was picking at my skin. Remember, my skin was looking crazy. I could look at it, like look back and laugh now.
Your skin was better now.
Yeah.
I came across a picture a couple weeks ago. I don't remember if it was in like my Snapchat memories or if it was just like in our text thread in the camera roll section, where you sent me a picture of your legs, and your legs had like black
my legs
brown spots like all over your thighs,
my
like the
arms,
side. Yeah, she used to pick like really, really bad.
Really
she had like
bad.
spots everywhere.
Yeah, dark marks everywhere, all of my thighs. Like I remember senior year of college, that's when I started to exfoliate because my roommate at the time, she used to tell me, like, you probably should exfoliate your skin because, like, she was giving me all the little cute hygiene tips. I thought I was dirty. Never that. But, like, I just never, I was never, like, exfoliating.
It's a different level.
Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to stuff my hygiene a little bit. I got all these fine. I don't care if you try to every little thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, type thing. So I said, I need to stuff my hygiene a little bit. So I remember going to either Target or Ulta. I got me a little Tree Hut scrub. I was using that every week and it helped clear up my skin a lot. And I remember, even on my chest, like, you might see the little
still have some remnants, but it's not nearly as bad as
there was a point in time where there was none. Yeah. I just feel like sometimes when I'm getting a little anxious, it just kind of just like flares up a little bit. I don't know, it's weird, but whatever. So yeah, I was picking at my skin.
Break on a hives?
No, not hives. I haven't had hives since elementary school.
I was just asking.
But yeah, I used to pick on my skin a lot because I just didn't know how to deal with the anxiety. I was having chest pains, and I feel like the anxiety pains really started in like 2016. And then it didn't stop until, I was still getting here and there, but it pretty much stopped in 2019, because senior year, it was just a lot of stuff going on, and I had people stressing me out during the time. So once I got rid of that person, I noticed like after 2 days, my chest pains completely just stopped. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. But anyways, they would come every so often, but during the pandemic, I had my little depression. That was the first time I was ever depressed in my life. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But what did I do? What are some things I did? I think it's important if you're going through a season, of being sad or whatever it is, give yourself grace. Feel what you feel. I think that's one of the most important things. I think feeling your emotions is important because, like I said, I feel like we weren't really given the grace and space to feel. So, from my experience, when I was feeling a lot, everything kind of just poured over on me, and that's why I took everything as hard as I did. So, give yourself grace and feel your emotions. Like, you are a human being with emotions. You're gonna feel angry. You're gonna feel sad. You're gonna feel hurt. You're gonna feel all these things, and it's really not good to sit and suppress those feelings. It's really not. So give yourself some grace and space to feel, to allow yourself to feel, especially if you're someone who's not given that same grace like I was or we were. Give yourself that type of grace because life really gonna show you, sister, you got these feelings and you need to figure out how to deal with it.
You have them for a reason.
You have them for a reason. Yeah. So feel it. Like now, like that was what 20, 22, 23. I'm 27. If something happens to me, I need to cry. I'ma cry. I don't stop nobody from making me cry nowhere. I cry every if I could cry every day, I would. But obviously, there's nothing going on for me to be crying every day. But if I could cry every day, scream, punch a wall, well, maybe not punch a wall, scream into my pillows. If I have something going on and I need to feel my emotion, I'm going for my emotion. And that's just what it is. Like, you really have to allow yourself to feel whatever emotions that you have, and just give yourself that type of grace. I would also say, surround yourself with people who's gonna, pour into you and also give you that type of grace as well. We talked about this in one of our other episodes. You should, surround yourself with people who are gonna pour into you and help you with your situation, but also just be mindful as well, I guess, that even though you're in this season of being sad or whatever, you're feeling your feelings, just don't take it out on other people as well. Because the thing that you're going through is not other people's responsibility. And while you want to surround yourself with people who are going to, be an asset to you in this time, I think we all have to figure out a certain set of boundaries of not pouring or dumping, I guess, too much on other people. Because as much as you have things going on, other people have things going on as well. Yeah. But it's also important to surround yourself with people who's going to give you a safe space and not make you feel bad for it as well. So it's just a balance. You have to figure out that balance.
Those waters can be very murky sometimes.
Yeah. So it's just a balance. It's like I said in my last video, my situation. So it's just like you just gotta figure out your own balance between that. And investing in therapy. I think we talked about that as well. Investing in therapy is one of the best investments. No, I think I talked about that on my channel. But investing in therapy and actually being intentional, and we did talk about it on this one too. Being intentional and having a plan or what have you is a really, 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 really great investment in your mental health, because your therapist will give you tools and give you different perspectives and a better understanding.
They should give you tools, perspective, and a better understanding.
Yeah, they should be. Like, I have been seeing my therapist for 3 years, and the reason why I'm up now is because of her. I'm screaming. Any advice that she's given me, I've considered, and I applied what was for me, what wasn't, and kind of just did that type of decision making, and I'm a happy girl, So that's like 2 or 3 things that I would really say,
Yeah.
I think when you're going through a season of sadness, having community is really important, but you also have to kind of figure things out on your own, figure out what works for you, because like I said in one of those other videos, not all advice is good advice at the end of the day. So you have to kind of decide and discern what's good for you, even though you have people in your circle who's trying to help you, trying to, give you, pour into you. You just got to decide what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
So that's enough. Let me blabbing. I'm screaming. What about you?
I think for me, I remember, I love my mother to pieces.
Oh, that girl. Damn. My girl. Soft spot in my heart.
That lady will always have a soft spot in my heart. But that lady, she went through some things. And I remember being in, like, early middle school, 6th grade and up?
Yeah, 5th grade.
I remember being in elementary school. I don't remember if it was 4th grade or 5th grade. And I just was feeling so sad. And I was like, and I had the awareness at the time to recognize, like, what I was feeling was not fully normal. And I went to Mom and I was like, I think I want to talk to somebody because, like, I don't feel good. She was not having it.
Of course not.
She was not having it. I don't fault her for it. I don't blame her for it. because this is also like years ago.
This was like early
culturally, 2000s. Like she did not know anything about mental health. Like
right.
That's not even something that was spoken about. My mother's Jamaican, for those of y'all who don't know. Jamaican people, they don't do that. And in her mind, it was like, what do you have to be depressed about? You don't have to pay any bills.
Right.
You live in a house, you have a roof over your head, there's food on the table, I'm paying money out the wazoo for you to go to school, because we were going to Catholic school. And she was like, you don't have any responsibilities. There's nothing for you to be depressed about. There's nothing for you to feel sad about. You should be walking around smiling all the time.
Right.
Because you don't have no responsibilities.
Right.
And she was like, if I take you to see someone, they're going to label you as crazy and just put you on medication. Yep. So, like, that was the end of that conversation. And I just said, all right, well, whatever's going on, I'm going to just have to suck that bad boy up. Sorry I said anything. But again, like, I don't blame my mom for having that reaction because she didn't know. Right. Like, she does, like, mental health literally wasn't even a conversation. Yeah, and I didn't even know that mental health at the time was a thing. I just knew that something within me felt off.
Right.
And I also didn't know who I could go to talk about it. So when I said, hey, like, I want to talk to someone, I did not have any suggestions for who I could talk to. Right. I was just like, I want to talk to somebody because...
I feel like mental health has been a topic in, like, the past half a decade, 5 years, honestly.
It's a pandemic.
Yeah, no one was taking mental health seriously until the pandemic happened, when people were offing themselves and going through a hard time and like all these things. So
you couldn't even tell people you were seeing a therapist before without people thinking that
you got something going on, you crazy.
You all types of crazy and messed up in the head. When it's like, no, there are some people who genuinely understand that you need something or someone external to help you process what you're feeling internally and not just stuffing it. Mm-hmm. So I think at that point with, like, for lack of a better word, feeling silence with my ability to process what I was feeling because there weren't any resources at the time, right? And, like, I also understand that for her it was probably like, what is she talking about? Yeah. With whatever you're feeling, they're going to give you medication. Yeah. You're a little kid. You don't need to be on any medication. Yeah. You know, so it's like talking about things like depression and anxiety wasn't really understood unless it was like someone was like really unwell, like psychotic, and she's like, "Well, I'm looking at you. You look healthy. You look perfectly fine to me. You look perfectly fine to me." And she's like, "I got real responsibilities. Like you know, like basically stay in a child's lane." And what I've come to realize is that a lot of parents, specifically Caribbean parents, like kind of have that mentality. And again, I don't fault them, but culturally, that's just the way things are and where they are and how they were taught. Yeah. So it's like people don't talk about things like anxiety, depression, you know, substance abuse. Like so many of these things are normalized within families, where it's just like, yeah, you have all these things going on in your head, but you don't talk about it. Yeah. And you still do what you have to do. You still show up because like life is still going to go on and life is going to beat on you, even if you don't want it to. Right. So at that point, I felt like silence, and I was looking for answers to like help me kind of explain some of the things that I was feeling internally. Didn't get that, so I kind of just like sucked it all back in. And then I remember, I don't really think I was feeling much in high school. I mean, that period was like a bit of a blur. Yeah. But I remember college, I was having a really hard time.
Why was I having a hard time in college, bro?
I mean, because it's a big transitionary period.
That's true.
Where it's like we had our friend group, we had the crew that we were spending time with after school every single day on the weekends. Like we had like a poppin' social life. Yeah. We were involved in so many clubs and sports. Like high school was great. Yeah. And then you're going to college where you don't know anybody. Yeah. I look around, I'm the only black girl in all of my classes. Yeah, me too. I had such a hard time making friends. And like you went to a state school, the percentage of like people of color is low in the grand scheme of the entire university, but it's significantly higher than what my university had in totality.
My school is only considered a PWI because it's a commuter school.
Right. So it's like the amount of people of color that were in just your graduating class. Yeah. It's probably more than what we had in our entire university. Yeah. I went to Fairfield U, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Yeah. So it's like, and I also went in as a biology pre-med student.
Yeah, I don't know who told you to do that, but anyway.
Girl, I had a journey. Like, growing up, I always said I was going to be a dentist. Then I got to senior year of high school, and I said, I'm going to be a biomedical engineer. My chest is high, okay? Got to college, went in pre-med, thinking I was going to be a doctor. My first semester said, no, you're not.
It's like,
and my professors also, even before they knew me, like I remember one, within the first couple weeks of school, he looked at me and he said, you need to change your major. Man didn't know my name, didn't know nothing about me, and the only thing that I could connect at the time was that I was one of the few students of color in the entire like program. And that was so discouraging to like even notice people's reactions when I told them like the city that we grew up in. People literally would like shudder or like walk away.
Yo.
You know, I'm in class, my professors are saying like, oh, you need to like pair up for this assignment or blah blah blah. People look at me and literally turn around.
Yeah.
Because literally the only black person in my class. I was the first black person that some people saw in college.
That's insane.
Which is so insane. I'm like, what's that sound? Lulu walking around. You okay, baby girl?
She fine.
So it's like, I think that was the first time where I was like super aware of myself, and I felt so lonely because I was so desperate to make friends and like build a community, and people judged me because of my skin color.
Mm-hmm.
People literally didn't want to talk to me. Like my classmates like would have parties to go to. I was never invited. People would get together and have like study groups and things like that to like do homework together. I wasn't invited. People would have study sessions before exams and things like that. I wasn't invited. People would make these plans in groups right in front of me in class, not say anything to me. And I was just like, do I stink? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
That's terrible.
And it's like, I would literally turn around and like ask people a question or something, and people would just look at me and like dead ignore me.
That's why I said I'm not going to that school. I don't got time. Mm-mm.
And I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I got a free ride to college, so if I had to ride the racism train, like I really thought, I don't know if I thought I wasn't gonna have that experience or if I thought it would get better.
Mm-hmm.
But after my first year, going into my second, I was so sick. I said I'm transferring out of this school because the amount of race, like just how. Like, I really felt like I was going crazy in my mind because I was like, there's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
It's just I happen to be a black person.
Right.
And it's like, people had all these preconceived notions of me. People had all these assumptions. That's why professors felt like it was okay to look me dead in my face the first 2 days of class and say, you need to change your major without even getting to know me.
Right.
And saying like, oh, you're not good enough because people like you usually don't do well in our program. And it's like, what is that supposed to mean? You didn't even give me a chance.
Right.
So... And on top of that, only having the opportunity to make friends with the commuter students, but they were also having their hard time. So I got a job. I had a part-time job. So when I wasn't in class, I was at work.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, so it was good to have like the money in my pocket.
Yeah.
But also at the same token, like it was still dwindling opportunities for me to make a social life.
Mm-hmm.
When there's like events going on campus that everyone's going to, I can't go because I don't have anyone to go with.
Right.
People are posting about like, oh, the Santa cons and the this and the that and the point parties and blah 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 blah. You being a first year college student, you want to go to those things.
Right. Yeah.
But you don't have anyone to go to.
That's how I felt my freshman year too. I didn't have much people to do anything with.
Yeah.
So I would go to class and go. I'm not staying here. My class ends at 12 o'clock. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And I was doing that too, but then I was like, you know what? We did cheer pretty much our whole lives. You stopped in high school. College, I didn't do it my first year because I wanted to really get acclimated to school before I did that. Tried out my second year, made the team, and I felt like my coach had like this weird favoritism thing where she would say and tell other people that she really liked me, but she wouldn't use me on the team. So it wasn't until she left where I like got opportunities to like, you know, just be a member of the team and not have to be stored in the back.
Yeah.
And I tried making friends, but even then, like, I was just so aware of my color because I was the only black person on the cheer team because the other black person was studying abroad.
Oh, yeah. My girl.
So it was literally just me. And I remember when we had the presidential election and it was Donald Trump versus... Who was running against him? Hillary Clinton? I don't even know at the time. That was too long ago. We were at cheer practice. And people are running around talking about how they voted for Trump and how they love Trump. And they literally have their laptop propped up watching, like, the ballot count. And watching, like, the presidential election coverage, and I'm like feeling so uncomfortable because I'm like, this man actively said racist things, and y'all over here salivating and foaming at the mouth, cackling Peking, and talking about Donald Trump. So it's like that didn't even feel like a safe environment. And I remember a couple of the friends that I did make, one night they invited one of the girls invited me to a party.
Mm-hmm.
This is not her fault. I don't fault her for this at all. Don't blame her. But she invited me to the party, and she told me around what time to be ready and to make it to campus. But when she was ready, and the group of people that we were supposed to go out with were ready, she would let me know.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home from school, ate dinner, got dressed, did my hair, did my makeup. I'm texting the girl, I'm calling the girl. She didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I waited for hours for her. And she didn't answer until the next day. She said, sorry, I got too drunk at the pregame.
Okay.
Forgot to text you. And I'm like, girl, I'm seeing all types of stuff on Snapchat, Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, this is my first time really, like, trying to go out and, like, do things. And it's like, dang, like, I'm forgotten. So, like, I just felt so unseen throughout my first couple of years of college that, like, it really put me in a funk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't fit in anywhere. Like, I did have some friends. And, like, there were, like, the commuter student group was really, really awesome. Like, we tried really hard to build community with each other, and there were also some people on campus who helped us build community with them. So like we would go to parties and stuff like that. I would bring you would come and do homework with us, things like that. But it's just like really having that cohesive experience on campus, like I didn't really get. And there was a part of me that didn't feel black enough for the black kids.
Yo, for real.
Because
I feel like I'm having that type of identity crisis too a little bit.
Like I'm Caribbean, Jamaican. Didn't feel Jamaican enough.
Yo, that part. Yeah.
I've never been to the country. I don't speak patois. Like
we don't connect like, ourselves like everybody else at the parties and the clubs or whatever.
Right. Like, and I got 2 left feet. There was like certain black people where it's like I had to prove my blackness to them. Like, oh, if I'm not reading this literature, or if I don't listen to this type of music, or if I haven't gone here, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. It's like we're revoking your black card. Right. So it's like I don't fit in with the white people. Definitely. I don't fit in with the Jamaican people. I don't fit in with the black people. Where am I supposed to fit?
Right.
And how do you think that impacts my self-esteem?
Right.
So that period was just really hard. And also living at home, like there would be times where I would just like be crying myself to sleep.
Me too, girl.
Couldn't figure out like what was going on in my head. Mm-hmm. Didn't go seek therapy. Somehow ended up in a social work program to be a therapist.
That's usually how it is, though.
And then I really didn't start getting therapy until I was in my grad program, and they said, literally like the first week of classes, they said, if you don't have a therapist, you need to get a therapist because you can't know what it's like to be an effective therapist unless you know what it's like to be on the opposite side of the chair. Mm-hmm. That, if there's nothing that I got out of my program, because y'all know,
I'm off clock.
No.
Oh.
My grad program put me through some things. But I'm so grateful to God that I had that experience in my grad program, because even though it was a little questionable, it set me up for things in ways that I probably wouldn't have been set up if I went to other programs or if the program went the way that it was supposed to. And they wouldn't have given me that advice to seek therapy, because that's when I started seeking therapy. Still have that same therapist. I told her, listen, I'm that client that's like, you are never terminating with me. You're not leaving. Like, she said, you have to graduate from therapy at some point. I said, girl, I don't know what you taught your other clients, but I'm not hearing it. Like, I literally said that to her. She's helped me grow so much just by, one, validating that I'm not crazy for the things that I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And it came at a good time because, like, when I was towards the end of college and grad school is when I experienced, like, the most anxiety. Mm-hmm. And like actual like depression that I've like ever felt in my entire life. So much so that I couldn't sleep.
Yep.
Couldn't eat. Like I'm literally jumping out of my sleep, having panic attacks like in my sleep.
Yeah.
Like everything in my body just felt wrong.
Yeah.
Like my back was hurting every single day. I was getting migraine. Like my body was just not functioning the way that it needed to. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I got to therapy and started talking about these things where I said, oh, okay. Oh, that's why I've been feeling like this all this time. Because
Makes sense.
I think one, because of the things that were going on in my life at the time, was being compounded on top of everything else over the years that I've like neglected to see, and also the things that I didn't have the chance or the time to pay attention to.
Right. Yep.
So it's like now my mental health is in a significantly better place.
Yep. Praise the Lord. Amen.
I thank God for deliverance. I thank God for giving me an identity and literally healing me. I thank him for the combination of just things. Like, I was trying to do my healing journey independent of my relationship with God and my faith. And it didn't fully work until I added God into the mix and said, you know what? Like, I'm surrendering all of these things to you. Help me.
Heal me.
Change me. Fix me. Do whatever you have to do. And since I made that commitment and decision like a year ago, like, I feel the best that I felt, like, literally ever in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anxiety. I don't have panic attacks. I don't feel so much weight in my head, in my chest, in my back. My mood is more stable than it's been. I'm actually sleeping. Like, I feel like I can put my guard down around other people, and I feel significantly better in my skin. And even people who know me or people who haven't seen me in a long time, when they finally see me, they're like, something about you is different. Yeah. Or like, you seem a lot happier. And I don't even, like, they just see that just off of my aura and my presence.
Right.
Not my aura, just off of my, like, presence and the way that I show up and the way that I look. Like, I don't look sick. My skin's not all broken out. Like, I literally had acne that looked like it was, like, cystic acne. Like, purple, like, boils, like, all over my face. No matter how much water I drank, no matter what my skincare routine was, like, nothing worked. And once I got everything else under control, like, the depression, the anxiety, like, everything else in my body just felt better.
Yeah.
So that's my mental health journey. I know I said a lot. Sorry.
You said you were supposed to say what you've done to help with your mental health.
Oh, I said that. Get some therapy.
Oh, screw me.
Get some therapy. Work on your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Put him first. Put him first.
Yeah.
Matthew 6:33. Is it Matthew 6:33? I think it's Matthew 6:33. Let me double check, because if not, you're gonna have to.
I'm still on Genesis. Find for my life reading that book.
Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 says, "Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all will be added onto you." Like, put God first in everything that you do, and everything else will add up and be the way that it should be. Yeah. Once I did that, everything else got better. So, my points for how to work on your mental health: seek the Lord first.
Yeah.
Get some therapy.
Yeah.
Get some exercise. Get your body moving, because even when you're not feeling well,
you need to
your body and your mind wants you to just lay down and hide under the covers. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to fix anything, and that will make you isolate yourself, and it will make you funky.
You're going to be like me, 200 pounds, stress, high blood pressure, fight for your life. Don't pull at me, because that's literally what happened to me. I was in my little depressive phase. I gained 30 to 50 pounds during that time. The largest I've ever been in my life. And I've always been a little chunky. But 200 pounds, being 5'2", that's a little much. And last year I was in and out of doctors because I had to get a cyst removed. But also, I just had a lot of stress and stuff going on as well, eating terribly and all those things. So my blood pressure was through the roof. So you gotta take care of yourself. Taking care of your mental health, your physical health as best as you can. Making those investments, I'm telling you, it's just gonna set sail for everything else. And I like how you talked about putting the Lord first and stuff, because I think in my journey, I didn't realize that he was kind of working in me in that time too. Yeah. So that's why I decided to go to church. I was like, this whole time, like, yes, I was in therapy, and yes, she helped me too. But I'm like, low key, like, not only with my situation, but with other situations that we've been in, other situations that we've been in with our families, I'm like, low key, that's God, low key. So I said, you know what? Let me go to this little church real quick and just praise the man, because that man has gotten our family through a lot of stuff. That man has spared my life plenty of times. Like, I'm driving down one ways, people in my car, like, you know, little small stuff like that, because I just, you know, besides the point, I'm like, that man has spared me so many times. I gotta give that man thanks and praise.
Credit where it's due.
I gotta give that man credit where it's due, because life could be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be grateful for the life that I do have, and that's another thing too. Learn how to be grateful for what you do have.
Yeah, because gratitude goes a long way.
Because a lot of things can be worse than what it is, and yes, in these moments you might be feeling like this is the worst. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on, and something, but you never know what other people have going on. I think I talked about this in the last video too. Like, one of my coworkers, she was telling me, obviously, about some of her clients, not name dropping or anything like that, but their experiences. And I'm like, yo, this is why you have to be grateful, like, for what you have, for our upbringing that I have. I mean, not everything was peachy keen. Not everything that happened needed to happen. It wasn't necessary. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the life that I've had and the upbringing that I was raised in, to a degree. Like I said, I don't agree with all of it. But you know, you just gotta be grateful for it, because your situation definitely, it could be worse. And I'm like, you know, even though my mom, she used to badger us, you have food on the table, clothes on your body, I'm grateful for it, because there's a lot of kids out on these streets that don't have those basic necessities, and it's not right, and it's not fair. So that's just another thing to just be grateful, learning how to be grateful for what you do have. And I think changing your mindset can be very, very hard, and it's a process in itself. It's a journey. But once you do start to look at life a little bit differently and just start being grateful for what you have and think of different barriers and alternatives on how you can achieve whatever goals you have for yourself, life gets easier. And it took me a very long time to kind of change my mindset. But therapy, investing in therapy, and your therapist giving you the tools that you need to kind of help change your mindset, it's all, what's the word, all encompassing. It all kind of circles back to each other. It all connects to some degree. So yeah,
and I like what you said about, like, community. You said community earlier, right?
I did. Yeah.
Having community is so important, and not just any community, not no janky community, like people who are like-minded and have the same values as you, and people who genuinely want to know you, because those people genuinely care about you. And it's like letting people love on you, especially when they see that you need it.
Girl, I'm having a hard time doing that, but go ahead.
Yeah, because it's like, it's easy to say, like, nah, I want to be alone, like, I'd rather being alone, like, I don't want to talk to people. We're not meant to be alone. We are made to be in community with other people. That is a part of, like, our nature, and that's life. You know, it's literally on the hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like that aspect of love and belonging, like we need that to thrive, emotionally, physically, like mentally, like all things together. So it's like having community and people around you can make the storms feel like they're just rain showers, because it's like you have people to talk to when things are going on. Instead of isolating yourself, you have people to hang out with, even if you don't want to tell them about what's going on. But it's better than staying in bed under the covers.
I'm gonna stay in my bed under the covers.
You know, it's like people that you can just like have a good time with every now and then. You know, and then when people really learn you and they get to know you, they can tell when something is off and say, hey, how can I support you? What do I need? Like, that's something that I've had, and I'm super grateful for it. But it's also like allowing myself to go through the discomfort to like build relationships with people to even have that. Because it's like, it's easy to feel like you're going through things alone, and when you're in community, you'll be surprised to know how many people are going through the same thing as you, or something very similar, or they've gone through certain things and they've come out of it and they're okay. Some people don't look like the things that they've been through, and it's like you would never know that unless you had conversations with them, unless you're willing to be open and vulnerable with them, unless you're able to say, you know what, I'm having a hard time. You know what? No, I'm not okay. Like, I need help. You know, so community is so important. And like I said, not no janky community, not just any community. People who are on a good path. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want no community of people that's popping bottles and out in these streets. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you're a bad person. But for me and where I am in my life, like, there's a certain space that I'm in, and there's a certain type of people who I want in this space. You know, mom used to say, show me your company and I'll tell you who you are. Mm-hmm. I think your company and the people that you choose to be around, like, reflects you in some way. And even if you're not doing the same thing, like, there's a part of you that will always be associated with that. Because if you're not associated with the things that certain people are doing, if you don't want to be associated with that, why are you around them?
Facts.
What are you getting out of that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Community, exercise, putting the Lord first, getting some therapy, and invest in a journal.
Even an online one, you can use your notes.
Yeah.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
Good notes. What's that notes? Is it good notes? There's so many different
Penzi or Penzu.
What is that?
There's an online journal that I was using a while ago. It's a website, you log in, you make your journal, you could choose your composition, note page, you put a password to open it. It's dope.
I'm tired, my God.
I need to find what? I completely forgot about that until just now.
That's real cute or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
go outside.
Yeah.
Get some sun.
Yeah. So find your community, but use a discernment. I still got a little trauma, so I'm cool off the community thing right now. For this moment, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, community really is important. I can't wait to find my little tribe. I think right now for me, I'm just in this period of isolation, which I don't mind. But yeah, I think periods of isolation is not terrible. You can't stay there. You obviously can't stay there forever. But I don't think they're inherently wrong either. I think I'm just in a season of just kind of figuring myself out, what it is that I need, and trying to heal some scars, and that's okay. I just naturally, I'm just never been the type of person really to be, I guess, I don't know. I just like being by myself. Like, I just thoroughly enjoy being by myself, and my community is important. I just been through too much to allow people, too many people at least, to be in my space. But I'm gonna find my community at some point. We gonna be outside and do some at some point. I don't know, but I'm not forcing nothing. I'm not pressing nothing. What's for me is for me, and I'm gonna get blessed. I'm still blessed regardless. So yeah, finding a community who really is just kind of what did you say? Find people who show me your company and I'll tell you who you are. Finding like-minded people who like the same things as you do, who navigate the same way as you do. I think that's important. And I think that can be a little bit hard to find because in this space of, or in this period of trying to find community and godly community, godly friendships, godly relationships, that's not easy to find. So I'm not about to sit here and waste my time trying to find all these people who are still outside doing all the extra. I just, but like I said, my time is my time personally. I'm not rushing, forcing nothing on nobody, so I'll find mine. And that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But that was great. Any last minute thoughts? Any, anything else to add real quick?
No. I think we talked about mental health.
We talked about some of our journeys, some things that we've been through, some
discovering mental health and recognizing what that feels like.
Yeah.
It's okay to want different.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And
it's okay to want to feel better, feel good for once.
Yeah, we're literally human beings.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Everybody goes through things.
Right.
But you know what you need better than anybody else can tell you what you need. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be, at some point, I think for me, sometimes it's there comes a point where you're tired of your own stuff.
Yeah. No, really. And sometimes you really do have to reach that breaking point and really actively make that change. And I think that's what I kind of went through too.
Yeah.
You gotta be tired of your own stuff.
Let's stop putting shame around mental health and talking about mental health because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Doesn't mean that you're crazy.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you're unwell.
Yeah.
Just means you might need a little extra TLC, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of TLC, that's why I talked about surrounding yourself with people who's gonna pour into you. It's important to keep people it's important to keep people around you who's gonna pour into you, not make you feel bad for going through life and going through hard times and going through experiences, because it's just not fair.
Yeah.
So nobody on this planet is perfect. Nobody has it figured out. We're all navigating our 20s. This is the first time we're living life. We're not all gonna have the answer. That's why I also said you have to discern what works for you, especially when you're getting advice from other people, because what works for them may not work for you. And it's not okay for people to use your stuff to make you feel bad about it, and for making you feel bad for going through a hard time. Those people are not your friends. Those are people not your tribe. Those are people not who don't have your best interest at heart for real. So it's all discernment, looking up to the Lord to say, is this for me, Lord? And just making hard decisions that's going to have a greater effect, positive effect later on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Anything else?
All good here.
All right, so that is our chat on mental health, our discoveries on our mental health journeys, and what we've done these past, I guess, I would say almost 9 years, 10 years. I would say since college, that's when we both kind of really discovered that. I know. Oh, it's a very long time. Jeez. College is really when we both experienced some sort of anxiety and or depression. So that's kind of like some things that we've been through. This camera's about to die, so we're just going to end it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.